Hello, my name's Ralph and welcome back to the channel. It's my time, let's go. This week we're going to be working on this little blue trike, and it's quite a nice little rig with a 96-inch S&S motor in it, so you get up and cackle and get out there. So I'm looking forward to getting it out for a drive, and a couple little things that we've got to do and have a look at in about it, but we're getting there, and those sort of things will get fixed, and she'll soon be out there. Alright, so we're going to move right along. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. For all you that are new to the channel, it helps us to grow. Hit that like and comment button, and away we go. All right, let's get along and see what we got going with this thing. Now, I'm sure that there's not a whole lot wrong with it in there, but I just want to open it up and have a look in there and see. The motor's loose and things like that, and things he was talking about and hadn't been lined up, so we're going to do all that as we go along, and as if it was a fresh sort of install, and then we'll do that. And I noticed the rear end's got to be adjusted back, so we'll be doing that too. So I'm going to pick away at this in between things, and once in a while you'll see something on this and then see something on something else, but such is the way it is, and we're moving along. There's just not enough hours in the day to just drop everything on one thing, so we're just keep your brain moving, keep your brain moving. All right, let's get the stuff we need. Let's get the primary case off it. I gotta check it, see if I gotta drain it or whatever, so I'll pull the cover off and see. Where's the drain plug on here? Right there. All right, I'll get the tools I need and I'll be back. So we're sort of in a tight area here, but we're gonna get to the best shots we can. I wanna move a couple things out of my way. There we go. Sort of an awkward spot to get at. Next thing we want to do is get this one under here. Now, under here can be a variety of different things. I've seen all kinds of things. It can be like a torque bit, or they can be like an Allen bit. Now, when people force the torque bits in, what happens is, I know you can't see it so much probably in there. I might be able to blow it up enough, but this is all cracked around the edges. And what's happened is that I think that this should have been a torque bit in this application. Now we can get like a 1/4 inch one up in there. Kind of hard to hold it up there and see, but it's a mite wiggly. So I'm gonna go see if I can find a regular one. So you can kind of see here on this angle, it is a little wiggly in there, but somebody could have forced it in there and that caused this to break away. Or we have what I believe to be the proper torque bit, and it's a little tighter up in there, so I'm hoping that that's gonna break it away. I'm gonna be lucky. All right. Oh, we got a little drip in there. Not too much, probably. I didn't expect there to be, but you never know. So I'm just gonna go along here and, oh, they are loose. Everything is loose on it. Alrighty, great. So we'll just go along and zip them out. There's different lengths bolts in these, and they always remember that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts here are the long ones, and they go in those ones up there. There we go. There we go. She's a very snug fit on there. Oh well, she's all dry. All right, now folks, quickest way to get that off, I'm going to impact this off, and I'm going to take this little plate out. I'm going to loosen that off. So a lot of this stuff is loose on here, but the procedure is the same. And what I like to do here is loosen this nut off. Now we've got a big socket here, which is actually an 1.5 inch socket, which will fit this. And we can put an impact, or we can put a long bar on it, or we can do whatever we want to break that loose. To do that, you can use one of these sort of little blocks that you can put in here, and these can be wedged in here in your primary chain. If you use them anywhere up here or something like that, be very aware of the clearances up here. So in some cases, there's a lot more clearance down here below. So it might be a better spot for it, but check out your clearances and see where it's best for you to use it. I use jam bars myself, and these are just bars cut the length, which with this loosened off, I can wedge these in here in the appropriate direction, and they'll lock the sprockets. So I prefer the jam bars myself. So, let's see what we're into here. There we go. All right. Then we can just pull this right out. There's our adjuster. And our big nut is in here. I believe. No, the older one's 1 1/8 inch, so I have to get the right one for that. So, because everything else was loose on it, I think I'm going to cross my fingers and hope this is loose. It's a left-hand thread on here. Ah, yeah. No big deal, you just would have had to wedge it up here. But that just saves me a little grief today. Speeds up the process. And we're just inspecting our springs pack in here. I don't think that inner spring pack should be moving in there. Even though when it's under pressure, but I don't think that it should be moving. I will have to look into it. All right, let's pull this off. This should slide off here. We'll still keep it here in this way, so we've got our direction of chain rotation, I hope. Okay. All right. Looks like all my clips are pulled back here for me. Good man. Good man. A couple 5/16 ones, I think, there. So I'll need an Allen for that, and I'll need some 1/2 inch ones for there. And then those will come off. Now, before I can pull this whole assembly off, the starter has to be loosened off. So before I can pull that inner primary off now, I've got to go around and try to loosen off the starter bolts. And I know from past experience on some of these Softails, they actually made the oil tank dip down on the other side, enough so that you can't get the starter out without removing the oil tank and such. Now, we've got no back cover on here. I see. There's no splash guard on the back. So, looks like the starter is dropped down as well. So let's Let's get these things loosed. All right, I'm looking back in there and I stuck my fingers back in there and the starter appears to be loose. So that's a good thing, except for the bolts. And I'm hoping the bolts are somewhere. So if I loosen these ones off of here, now we should be able to pull it off. So let's do that. Alrighty. I would expect that those are loose, so I'm just gonna give them a shot. Now that front one might not be. There we go. Yeah, that thing's walking in there. Yeah, I can see that the inner bearing is moved in and it's walking in there farther than we like to see. We're gonna have to get that off. Ay, 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 I hate that. So, I also want to have a look in here because sometimes there's a lot of noise that can be generated in underneath of there. Hey Barry, team you. Okay, I'll just try to get this off of here. Little thing's got a little hook in it. This one's got a little hook in it. I don't see any signs of anything rubbing or anything there. Alright. That seems pretty loose, or pretty tight. The motor doesn't want to seem to move any in there, so I expect that it's pretty tight in these. They've got a little movement in them, so I'm just going to go around and make sure that we're loosened right off in them and see if I can get any kind of movement in them. So I'm going to go around and loosen them off a little bit. Now I've got some of the bolts I can actually slide up and down now in there. But I think that some of the problem is from the tranny. I see that the tranny plate, the tranny plate bolts are loose in this. Transmission bolts are loose. It makes it very hard to line up the transmission. The bolts on the bottom of the transmission should be loosened off, not the plate. So we're going to go around and we're going to try and get at them. They're very, very hard to get at in there. And alrighty. The ramps on this thing look good, but it does concern me about the rocking in the pack. I don't think that should be like that. I have to check in my stuff. See what I got. It is Evo, so. And we got a couple few issues to deal with. We've got to get this off, I believe. So now that we've got it apart, we can have a good idea of what we're looking at. I think that the case was on there and it lined up, but I do think that with the race pushed back in there that far, the transmission feels good and solid there. You know, I'm trying to move the main shaft, I can't, and everything's loose in here. There's absolutely no play in the main shaft or in fifth gear there. There seems to be no play there at all. So I think that we've just got to get this race off and put a new bearing in there. I think that we've got to look into this a little bit further. Because I think that would make a, you know what I mean? It's a bearing kind of noise, he said. So between the combination of the two there, I think that that's it. I'm gonna have to set the rear end up. I'm gonna have to move it back and dial it in where it's supposed to be, but first things first. So I think what I'll do, I think what I'll have to do is just make a plan. Yeah. Yeah, I'll make a plan as to which thing to attack first, and we'll go from there. I think sitting where I'm at and what I'm seeing here and everything else, I think that I might as well get my transmission alignment first, because I'm going to have to dick with the shocks and such in there to get that to line up. Once I have the shocks dialed, you know, possibly off it so that I can torque those bolts once they're tight. Once I've got the case on and everything, and then we should be able to get the transmission case on and off without any stress and strain, hopefully. It was pretty close there, but the whole main plate is loose. It doesn't seem to appear to be moving, and I think, you know, that at least I got a plan. It's alright. It's alright. Shit to do. You're always running into these situations, pulling this damn thing off of here, right? There's so many different things, and I've done a variety of them trying to get them off. You know, I've ground them and cut them and tried to do whatever I had to do to get them off. So today, I would like to make this as painless as possible if I can. So I'm just going to give my brain to think on it first and see what my transmission loosened up and those sort of things, and what I'm going to be into exactly as I move that, and then we'll take it from there. All right, form a plan. While we're working away at things, be sure to check out my brothers down south, Hippie at Hippie's Chopper Corner, and Slick at Slickhead's Custom Cycles. Hippie's down there, he's got choppers coming and going, it's in every sort of direction down there. I'm going to tell you, Hippie's superstar, he's on a rocket ship to the top. Check him out, he's never dull, and once you've watched his videos, you'll know what we're talking about. Alright, and also check out my brother Slick. Slick just got a stable of beautiful bikes down there. And the summertime's coming, quicker to him than it is for us. But he's getting his stuff out and he's taking you to swap meets all over the place and different interesting things. So be sure to check them both out. Hippie's Chopper Corner, home of the sketchy choppers, and Slickhead's Custom Cycles. I know you'll enjoy them both. So now we've got to get the race off, and what we're looking at in here is the typical case of your race that has pushed its way up into 5th gear, and now it's buried in there and we can't get the tool that's made to go in behind it to pull the thing out. There's lots of different things that people will tell you that the ways that you can do it. I have taken it and I've actually ground the sides of this down on both sides, enough that we can get the little tool in there to pull that off as well. I've also cut ones, you know, cut them across here with a little mini grinder and sorts, and then hit them with a punch. They pop off. She's spread now. There you go. But today, I want to try, and then there's other guys that say take the trap door nuts off, like pull your clutch cover off and loosen off the trap door nuts, beat the shafts through the bearings enough to get them over, to get that out, and then beat it, you know, torque it back in and draw it back in through the bearings. And I don't really want to go through all that. So what I've opted to do is I've made myself a little washer about something like this. And the plan is to just put that over there, and we're just going to weld that into place. And once we get that welded into place, I'm going to take my 3-jaw puller and we're going to try to hook on that and draw it out as it's warmed up in there from the welding, and it should be able to pull it right off. If not, I'll probably be into a bigger world of hurt, but I don't really see any other way around it, and I can't get down around it anywhere in there. So maybe that's what we're gonna do. Well, we're almost out of gas in here, but I hope I got enough to weld her up. tap this side in a little bit. Now with that touched up, I'm hoping to be able to grab that with my puller and pull it right out. We'll see. Started. Not coming out, buddy, it's not coming out. Well, that didn't work. All right. I'm starting to see a little gap in the back, so it's giving me hope. There we are. Still a bit hot, but as you can see, it did work. In hindsight, looking at it, the big washer was too soft. I think I would have made something about 1/4 of an inch thick or so to slide over that and then tack weld it on the outside. And then that would have pulled nice and evenly. Having the washer so big, it allowed the ears, as I put the heat to it, it allowed the ears to bend and such and created, you know, not more problems, but I could see if I did it with a little thicker one, then it would come right off. Also my puller, my 3-jaw puller, just sort of the size of the inside of my hole there, so hard to get something to fit in there just right. But in any case, we've got her off, and I mean, that's what it's all about. So we're down to that. Now we got to loosen up the tranny, loosen up the shocks, loosen up the transmission, try to get everything in place and see if we can get it lined up where it should be. And we'll go from there. All right, so we'll see if we can get our pulley off, have a look at the seal and that in there, and I'm probably gonna have to get a seal. They had that on there with something. Looks good and dry in there. Looks good and dry around all the other points and everything there. So I just got to get this seal out of here, out of 5th gear with my little puller, and put a new one in it, and we should be good to go. God, I just don't want to come out. So it seems like what's happened to this is somebody has driven the seal in backwards in the wrong way. And it's caused me a lot of trouble to get it out. Now I am starting to get some edge to break down on here. I'll just keep at it with my little puller and keep working it around, and hopefully it will walk out. They're coming. Ah, here we go. Well, and just as my other camera died, I have got the little ring out. You know, I think somebody put it in the wrong way with the rubber sticking out, so it made it hard for me to grab onto the back of it with the hook. But taking your time and persistence and just keep picking away at it and picking away at it. Now we've got it out and have a good look in there. Make sure it's nice and clean all around before we go to put our new one in. Hey! How are you doing? Good, Gus. Good. Good. How you doing? Good.
Hey, what's going on?
Not too much. So what, you headed up to Josh up this way?
I just was there. I just picked it up.
Oh yeah.
All fixed, all ready to go.
Got it straightened out?
Yeah. It was a bit of a bitch for him.
What was it?
There was some engine codes.
Yeah.
Plus that Y pipe. You can't tune the back cylinder with a Y pipe because everything's going by and it's actually sucking through the left pipe. It's sucking air.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So
I got you.
we had to turn it into a 2-into-1.
Huh?
So I took that Y pipe, cut it, blank it, put it back together, then everything's coming out the right side.
Right.
And it runs perfect.
Really?
It runs perfect. Yeah, those stock Y pipes from the factory, junk. And he said that to me in the beginning. He said, I don't know. And he just said today, I should have listened to my instinct.
Yeah. Well, hindsight's a great thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just.
And I said, now you know. No more friggin' Y pipes for a tune.
Yeah.
No.
He'd know, right? I mean, he'd know, of course.
Yeah.
He'd see the numbers and stuff like that, and then
Nice
when
guy,
it's
though.
explained to you,
Yeah.
makes perfect sense.
Yeah. 100 foot-pounds of torque,
Yeah.
85 horsepower.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So not bad. Not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
I took it for a little blast down the street. Works good. Pulls at about 27 and up. Pulls hard.
Yeah. But why wasn't it firing there for you?
I was one tooth off.
You were off.
Back cam was one tooth off.
Okay.
One tooth.
And you know something? I seen you do that, and on those 96 cams, they're marked on the outside of the cam.
Yes, they are.
So you can see it, right?
Yeah.
I know it's an easy mistake to make, but
Yeah.
the 88 cams
Yeah.
are marked on the inside,
Right.
and you got to put like a little yellow mark on them
To try
get
it.
them in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no way to see. You know what I mean? You got to mark them in a couple places to try and get them in there. And yours, fortunately, just went right in the plate.
Yeah.
You see,
it
now
does.
the 88s don't. They gotta have
See, I
a
didn't
special
change-
tool
yeah.
and press them in, and
Yeah.
oh my.
Oh, the 88s are a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do an 88.
Yeah, they are. You know,
96
compared,
just
right?
slip in, you put a clip on it.
Yeah, but it's an easy mistake to make. I've done that before. You know.
Plus, the pins on the throttle position sensor
yes.
needed to be changed because there's an upgrade for those pins.
Ah.
Those pins. And what else was wrong with it? It had 3 engine codes that he couldn't go away, and 3 historic codes.
Oh yeah.
So I ended up taking the fairing apart because put bars on it before I got it.
Right.
And the connection was bad on the fly-by-wire throttle. So the connection was bad, so it was giving an error.
Yeah.
So
You
there
see
was
that?
a lot of hours just diagnosing.
You see that a lot with the fly-by-wire throw,
Yeah.
things like that,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of the extension kits that they give them today for them.
That's
Right?
right.
They just plug right in,
Yeah.
and you put them up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take much for when you're down here
Yeah.
and you're going and
Pull on something.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
And the other thing is the fly-by-wire plug-in assembly itself
Right.
tend to get separated.
Well, this is delicate
Right?
shit, right?
And that's, you know what I mean, because it's
Yeah.
going up in there,
Yeah.
and they, I don't know whether they don't have a tendency to lock.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Something
Right,
else with
right.
Safety lock.
Right,
Or
right.
just sort of a push-on thing.
Yeah.
You know, and then it would lead you to all sorts of things. And thinking that the throttle position sensor
Was bad. So how do you like wrapping tanks?
Anyway.
Holy Jesus.
Jeez.
I watched you do that, and I said, there's no freaking way in hell I would ever attempt that. Yeah.
That's it. That's wrap.
Oh, that's wrap right there.
Yeah.
Well, you did okay. You did okay here.
And this is a cut line.
Yeah.
And there's
It's
that,
a pain.
there's that knifeless tape, right? It's like a pinch.
Oh, I saw
a
you
pinch
guys
strip you
doing
put
that.
on there,
Yeah, yeah.
And you
You
pull a wire.
Yeah. Man, I was watching you struggle with that. And I was
Well, you know, and I learned a lot, right?
Yeah.
I know that this will just peel this shit off.
yeah.
And I lifted this so many times that I peeled
Yeah.
the pinstripe off, right?
Oh, yeah.
But
Does look good.
you know,
Where's Margaret?
gone.
Gone. Bye. Get out of here.
Gone for powder.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, that's Margaret.
Yeah.
Did you have a run?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Very. Sounds really good.
I seen the
Very
quarts.
quiet.
I seen the quarts of water flying out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So now it looks a little bit better now.
Yeah.
Than what it did. Yeah. So if you enjoyed this video today, like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, do those kind of things. It helps our channel to grow. Although today's video was on working on our trike here, which we're going to move ahead on, and I'm looking forward to moving ahead on to actually getting that 96 out for a drive. We will be picking away also at this one here of Aaron's and getting it ready. And like I said, Margaret is out for powder now, so we'll be a week or two anyway at least before that comes back. So I have a lot of other things we got to do. Having Gus drop in today, that was just a bonus, you know. It's always great to have him come in and visit, and I want to congratulate him on how he's been making out on his wrenching for wellness. Gus has been working hard for the last year to attain his dream, to try to find a place that veterans and first responders and people like that are out of the trades can go and socialize together and be with each other and work on something and have some common interests and give them a place to go, as many of them suffer from PTSD and different sorts of things. So Gus has worked hard, and now he has recognition from the Veterans Association, and they're going to help him move forward, and all the power to him. He also picked his bike up and got it serviced up at Josh's at South Mountain Cycle up there. Josh is just a crack mechanic up there on the newer Harley stuff, and has his dyno, and man, he can tune those things in. So if you're looking for any kind of work or putting cams in your bike and you should have some dyno work, check Josh Markey out. All right, so that's it for this week. We're going to be moving on. 25 degrees today. Not looking like I'm going to get much work done today. I think that I'm going to get Lucy out and maybe get my trike out, and I don't know exactly, but 25 degrees. Hard to be in here wrenching today. So stick around. We'll see you next week.